Okay, so do you remember this term called tolerance? For some reason there hasn't been that much talk about tolerance lately, which is interesting, very interesting, but you know, we still have this expectation that we need to be tolerant towards people who are different. It is something that especially people on, you know, if we use this very traditional left-right axis in politics, and the idea is that the left are the most tolerant, which is false, but they have been traditionally the people who have been talking about tolerance the most, you know. I'm a big fan of tolerance. I am actually a very tolerant person myself, believe it or not. I believe that we should all be allowed to live the way we want to live, as long as it doesn't hurt other people. It's this part, as long as it doesn't hurt other people. That's what makes the whole libertarian argument a little bit troublesome at times, because there are lots of things that are usually called individual choices that actually do affect other people in devastating ways. But I'm not going to talk about that now. At some point, tolerance became, it kind of shifted. The meaning of tolerance became something more than it used to be. Now it was not enough that you have tolerance for other people's life choices and their point of view and so on. You also must believe what they believe. So you were expected to throw away your own viewpoints if they were the wrong ones, you know, and you were expected, if you wanted to be seen as a tolerant person, to have the same viewpoints and the same opinions as tolerant people. It's hard to make these signs with my fingers when I'm driving, so I'll try not to do that again. One example is people who, gay people. I have no problems with gay people, you know, and I think it's not my business, you know, it really isn't. And personally, I don't see anything wrong with that at all, but I don't believe that it's right to force other people to have the same opinion as I have. Now, for instance, people with a Christian and traditional Christian belief system will often have trouble or problems finding accepting people, gay people, and here comes the problem, you know. It's not tolerance to expect those people to share your viewpoints. It's not tolerance to force other people to have your own viewpoints on things. It's not tolerance when you counsel people who believe differently from you. That's the opposite of tolerance. So my argument here is that we have moved from being a fairly tolerant society here in the West. We have moved from that into a more intolerant society, because we can't tolerate people with the wrong viewpoints, if you will. And that's very dangerous, because then we are moving into thought policing. And from thought policing, it's, you know, it's it goes downhill. It goes downhill into totalitarian, tyrannical, communists or fascists rule, and that's not what we want, is it? So what I'm saying now is, I guess, you know, old news. It's old news, because other people, most people who are still able to think for themselves, they have seen this, and it's been going on for a long time. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I don't think it's been as bad as it is now in many decades. We need to go back to, you know, I don't know, many decades, because now we have the whole Corona thing. We have the whole jab in the arm thing. And I can't talk about that on YouTube. How tolerant is that? How tolerant is that? That's the opposite of tolerance. So when only one opinion is allowed, you have no tolerance at all. So is this what we want? Is this what we want? Is it good and right to label every opinion, every well-funded opinion that deviates from, in this case, Dr. Who's using cold words here, opinion as illegal? Is that what we want? And you know, there is only one way to stop this. It's only one way to turn this around, and it's to speak out. And I can't do that here on YouTube, because they will remove the video and eventually this channel as well. But we need to speak out, you know, to friends and family. We need to speak our mind, and we need to have courage. We need to speak our mind, because if we don't, then intolerance will win, and we can't let that happen.